If you travel for business, you can claim tax relief on the expenses. Usually, you keep the receipts to prove expenditure, but to make things easier, you can claim a fixed amount that's been agreed by HMRC. So what are the rules? At its simplest, you can claim tax relief on any expenses that are incurred wholly and exclusively for business purposes. So if you're travelling, this can include business mileage or fuel, road, tunnel and bridge tolls and congestion charges, parking costs, public transport, taxi fares, food and drink while you're travelling, hotel or other accommodation for overnight journeys, and then incidental costs such as business phone calls. You should keep receipts to prove the expenditure for all of these. Well, to claim tax relief, the journey must be for business purposes and can't be to your permanent place of work, or you can't claim the daily commute. It must be a journey to a meeting, appointment, or a temporary place of work. If the car's owned by the business, you can claim relief on the cost of fuel, the petrol, diesel, or electricity. If the car's owned privately, you can claim relief on the HMRC approved mileage rates. For cars and vans, these are currently 45 pence per mile for the first 10,000 business miles in a tax year, then it drops to 25 pence for each additional mile. If you travel by bike, you can claim the following rates. On a motorbike, 24 pence per mile, but even on a pedal bike, you can actually claim 20 pence per mile. You calculate the expense by multiplying the number of miles by the appropriate rate, and then you claim tax relief on this expense. For the past couple of years, there have been new rules on claiming fixed amounts for food and drink on journeys away from home. These fixed amounts are approved by HMRC and can be used instead of using exact amounts with the receipts. The rates depend on the time spent away from home on the journey, and they're as follows. If you're away from home for over 5 hours, you can claim £5. If it goes up to 10 hours, it's £10. If it's 5 hours, but you don't get home till after 8 p.m, you can claim £15. If it's 10 hours and you're away late till after 8 p.m, it's £20. If you're away for over 15 hours and don't get home till late, it's £25. And these benchmark rates can only be used if the qualifying conditions are met. You must be away from your normal workplace or home for at least those 5 hours. You must have incurred expenditure on a meal and keep the receipt, even though you're not claiming it. The advantages of using the flat rates are, well, the first one, it's easier. The second one is you can claim that flat rate even if you spent less on the food and drink. If you spent more than the flat rate, you can simply claim the larger amount by keeping the receipt. If you're an employer, you're not obliged to pay this flat rate to employees. It is your choice. It's one of the few things actually where you actually get to pick the best thing for you each and every time you incur expense, whether you use the flat rate or the real one. Well, as a business owner, you simply include the expenses in your accounts to reduce your taxable profit. Your tax bill will then be reduced at the appropriate rate. If you need any help at all on this, in calculating the amounts or processing it through your accounts, please do get in touch.